So here's what ISO actually means. So this week, we're going back to basics so you can get the best out of your camera and start shooting on manual. So ISO is one of the 3 settings to change exposure on your camera. Here's a simple analogy to understand what ISO is doing. Basically, it's increasing the sensitivity of your camera sensor to increase the exposure. But that's actually not what it's doing. Basically, it's using an analog or digital method to increase the signal that's coming from your sensor. Kind of like what an amplifier does with speakers to increase the volume. You've probably heard the saying, keep your ISO as low as possible, but that's not necessarily true. What you want to do is use your camera on its native or base ISO. Different cameras have different base ISOs, so search Google or ChatGPT for your specific camera. So the downside to using ISO to increase the brightness of your image is that the more you increase your ISO outside of its base ISO, is that the more noise you'll get on your image, which doesn't look nice. But sometimes in low light situations, you kinda have no choice. Some cameras have a dual native ISO, which means you can get a clean image on, let's say, 800 and 3200, for example. So best practice, especially when shooting in the studio, is to keep your camera on its native ISO and change other settings like the aperture to increase or decrease your brightness. So that's ISO in a nutshell. Stay tuned to find out more about how to get the best out of your camera.